Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back with another great commentary. This one I really do think is going to be quick. Um, I know I've touched on this before, and I don't think this is going to be news to anybody who's watched my videos. I think you guys all understand it. But I'm just seeing so much about this shit all around. It's really big on TikTok. You're seeing it on, YouTube vids of all this shit like feminism screwed women because now women have to work and support themselves. And like if it was just MGTOWs being, idiots, you could kind of like dismiss it. But it's not just them anymore. You're seeing like more and more women getting on TikTok and stuff and saying shit like fuck the whole women's rights movement, because now I have to go work and support myself. Like, why the fuck did you do that to me? Why the fuck did you do that to us? And I guess to start off with, there's nothing wrong with anti-feminism. Like, I don't consider myself an anti-feminist, but I'm definitely a non-feminist. And to me, I've got and I know I've mentioned this before, I have a strict zero tolerance policy for feminism, or for feminists. I mean, if she's a feminist, sure, she's a great person, wish her well, respect her, but I'm not going to engage with her. It's not a legitimate worldview, in my opinion. So, which isn't to say that even though the worldview itself overall is trash, I do think that there is value in even today in like feminist writings, and listen to what feminists have to say about some stuff. I won't engage with them, but I'm happy to learn from them. So it's fine if you don't like feminism. It's fine if you don't like feminism. It's fine if you don't think women should work. I don't get like all that stuff. It's all good. But women, who are working, shitty jobs just like men do, and it taking a toll on them just like it takes a toll on men. That doesn't have anything to do with feminism, and it wasn't what feminism was. Even back in like when these people are talking about feminism, what are they even talking about? Do they mean because feminism, kind of goes back to as like a mainstream thing to the 19th century. As the society got more industrialized and more developed, women, women started demanding more rights, and everything that women were demanding in the 19th century was like totally reasonable, stuff that rights that women should have had, and it finally culminated in women getting the right to vote and the right to serve on juries. And but that had nothing to do with women working. Women were working way worse jobs than anybody on TikTok now is who's complaining about it. Way worse hours, way worse conditions. They were doing all that shit well before they had the right to vote. Before there was any feminism. So get out of here with that. Then maybe you're talking about like that 50s and 60s time period, and where the women's rights movement really blew up. Well, women then who were talking about that were usually educated in a middle-class background, and they were talking about it as, first of all, there were still some issues like that women were facing there, like job place discrimination, sexual harassment. Those really were issues in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and women did have to organize to fight for them. And there was also just the issue of large-scale dissatisfaction with that lifestyle for so many women who they'd gone and they'd gotten educated, but after they got married and had kids, they were stuck at home, and it wasn't a fulfilling life for them. Now, that doesn't mean that going out and getting a job or a career is going to be fulfilling. I don't think that's what feminists were saying. I think they were just saying that, trying to make those options open to women. So if a woman wanted to stay home, she could, but she doesn't have to, stay home. She's not forced to do it. So this way, if a woman, because I think everybody would agree, and I don't care like how anti-feminist you are. Let's say you do think that women should stay at home and not work, and I've got no problem with that if that's what you think. That women, should stay at home with the kids, and the men should be the breadwinners. If you believe that, you still certainly, I'm sure you recognize that there are some women who that's not going to work for. Some women aren't cut out for that. And just like, there's some men who are incapable of being the breadwinners. Like I certainly couldn't. So there's nothing like I agree that every stage of feminism, the feminists have always been a bunch of irritating, man-hating harpies. That's absolutely true. Even the good feminism back from like the first wave, there's no question about that. But that's who you're always going to see at the vanguard of a movement pushing for social change. Is you're going to have people who are really obnoxious and they're because those are the kind of people with the guts to go against the grain, and you're people who they're not going to be super nice, and you're not going to like them, and that's totally fine. But whatever you think about them, almost everything they were fighting. I mean, everything they were fighting for in the first wave was legit. The stuff in the second wave was mostly legit. But it goes beyond that. Let's say you think that second wave feminism was totally terrible, nothing good about it at all, should never have existed. That's not why you see women in the workforce, okay? At most, second wave feminism opened up some good jobs to women. Okay? Women were already working shitty, soul-crushing jobs way before second wave feminism got on the scene. So when you see this stuff about old-time 50s and 60s America with the stay-at-home mom, that was only for the upper and middle class, okay? The working class women were, okay, not always. There were some stay-at-home working class women too, but there were a lot of women in the workforce. Maybe they were even only working part-time, but there were a lot of women working full-time in the workforce. And like for women who weren't married, all of them were. They were all working because how else would they support themselves? So, yeah, I mean, it's dumb. And the thing is, like, it wouldn't even, again, like, it would be one thing if it was just MGTOWs because they're idiots talking about it. And then you'd see these girls on TikTok calling, you'd be like, oh, well, they're just trying to get attention. Or they're being pick-me's or whatever. But the thing is, it's like, they seem to really believe it. They seem to really believe that women's rights are why they have to work. Like, seriously, I don't care if their position is women should give up their rights in exchange for not having to work. Okay, I don't care. That's like, whatever. I'm not here to pass judgment on it. What I'm saying is that women's rights, women could give up all their rights tomorrow. They're still going to have to fucking work. Okay, it's economics. Now, I could talk all day about how, this ability we used to have in the 50s and 60s, at least in the United States and in Canada. I don't know, even in Western Europe, I guess it was like that for a while. That we used to have that possibility if you were at least middle class or even just working class. You had that option to support a family on one income. And it was possible for the, usually the wife, but one parent to stay home and raise the kids. And it would be great if every young family had that option. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for everybody. If they had that option, that would be great, and every young family should have that option. But the reason they don't has nothing to do with feminism. It's just economics and the way things have changed. And maybe we could, that would be a subject more for an economics video. So. Yeah, and it goes back to what I was talking about when I mentioned on the Whatever podcast. I don't care if you hate feminism or if you want to criticize feminism. It's just don't criticize it for the most retarded reasons in the world. You just sound like such a fucking idiot. Also, another thing with these MGTOW guys who are telling these Zoomer girls saying, "Well, you chose feminism, enjoy it, ladies." Like, actually, no. She, even if it was true, she didn't, because these girls were all born in like the 90s. The feminist movement had already, come and, like, the second wave feminism had already succeeded by then in doing it. And third wave feminism is like the most annoying thing ever. I think now we're even on to fourth wave feminism, but that never had any impact. So the thing is, like, you can hate third wave feminism as much as you want, and I do hate it, but it never had any impact on anything anyway. So it's like, so, even no matter how bad it is, it's irrelevant. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next.